Have you ever wondered why concert tickets cost so much? Or how to get the best seats in the venue? Well, producer and promoter Louis Messina has the answer to those questions and many others. Hi, I'm Ernie Manouse. Coming up on InnerVIEWS, now that a multi-year non-compete clause with Clear Channel has expired, the Messina Group is free to carve out their own niche in the marketplace. So join me for our conversation with Louis Messina. What is it that you actually do?
I think about that every day. What do I do? I come to work here and say, what do I do? What I do, I promote concerts. I jokingly say I bring music to America, but I produce and promote events, concerts all over the country. For the last few years, it's primarily been country music, but now I'm able to, I was working under somewhat of a non-compete for many years, for 2 years. Now, as of September 1st, I'm able to do all forms and formats and genres of music. So I do everything.
If I'm Clear Channel, should I be nervous at this point?
If I was Clear Channel, if you were Clear Channel, I'd be nervous by looking at their own check, but their own balances. But no, they shouldn't be nervous. I mean, it's a big world. I mean, it's a lot of talent. Am I going to put a dent in their business? Absolutely. I mean, I was pre-Clear Channel. I still, in a roundabout way, I still feel I'm still emotionally attached to Clear Channel because, I started Pace Concerts with Alan Becker, who, Clear Channel, Pace became Clear Channel. So I still feel that I'm a part of that company, and my best friends still work there, and I'm not the giant killer. It is not I don't wake up every day and say, what am I going to do to hurt Clear Channel today? I don't care. They're a great company. The Mays families are really nice people. Brian Becker, who's the CEO of the company, I mean, his dad and his brother are my best friends. And, I have no, I'm just doing what I want to do. And if I happen to chip away at something that they're doing, well, good.
Take me back. Where did the love affair with music begin?
It began actually when I was really a kid, going to see Elvis Presley. I think I was 7 or 8 years old, and this is the truth. My dad took me. I lived in New Orleans, and I saw Elvis Presley perform, and at the Municipal Auditorium in New Orleans, and I was just like spellbound by the energy that he created. I mean, there was 8,000 screaming people, and I've never experienced anything like that in my life, and it left a lasting impression on me.
So, but you're not a musician, you're not a performer.
Right.
Why then were you attracted to that? Why?
I don't know.
Did you just want to be part of the party?
I think I just wanted to be part of the party, and just like guys that, learn how to play guitar, pick up chicks. I felt like this is a cool way. If I couldn't play guitar, at least I had backstage passes and tickets. That might be a way. But no, there's something about, I'm a people person, and there's something about, and I've never been a musician, but there's this energy and excitement that comes over me that when I walk into an arena and it's sold out, or a stadium, or even a club, and there's X thousand people there, and it's almost like walking into a great religious ceremony because it's just, I don't know, it's a turn on, and it's excitement, and I've always felt that way. Even I went to concerts as a kid, after I was in my teens, when Dick Clark used to bring his Cavalcade of Stars to town, and I would see all these the Supremes and James Brown and all those type of shows and bands. It was exciting. It was just exciting. And it's something this is all I ever wanted to do. I mean, honestly, I didn't want to do anything else. Of course, being a Catholic, being a young Catholic boy, the first thing you want to be a priest, but then I said, well, these days that would have been good, So I'm glad I didn't I did not choose the priesthood.
You started doing this when you were still in high school, correct?
I was in high school doing dances, right?
Yeah.
Doing local dances with local bands, and really, like in a junior in high school, I started doing this.
So where was the moment when it switched from being fun, local, to being something so big? Because eventually it grew into what we see today. But where did that turn happen? When did it become real?
Well, that I had a child, and I didn't realize I had to start making money, and I'm doing it for the love of it. When it became real it became real when I decided this is what I wanted to do, that this was going to be my profession. And even though I had different odd jobs, selling radio advertising and it was almost like a crusade to get to the place where I'm at today, making connections, just chipping away. And what my goal being that I wanted to be a concert promoter. This is what I wanted to do. So I think from get-go, I was always focused on this profession.
Then when did Pace come along? How did Pace become part of you?
I was in New Orleans. I was a local concert promoter. I was sort of the number 2 kid on the block. Beaver Productions they're still around. They were in New Orleans. And I started my first show November 1972 in New Orleans. And then the Louisiana Superdome was built in 1975. And Pace Management, that's what the parent company was. It was Alan Becker's company. They had the grand opening rights for the Superdome. Well, they were having difficulties booking a rock show. So through a mutual friend, we met, and I booked the Allman Brothers, Marshall Tucker, Wet Willie, and the Charlie Daniels Band. I think it was called the Pride of the South or something like that, or the Pride of Dixie. And so I went into partnership with Alan on the show in the Superdome in September of 1975. The same year, Alan had a relationship with the new building in town. Back then it was called the Summit. And he made the comment to me, if there's anything you ever want to do in Houston, I've got this new building, and if you want to bring some shows, please do. We can work together. Well, I said, that sounds great, fine and dandy. So we just finished doing the Allman Brothers, and we did close to 60,000 people. And when it was all said and done, I had a bunch of partners, and I had the biggest show of my career, and went back to my office, and it was a house, and realized I just did the biggest show of my life, and I made, we still don't have any money, and I need to do something. I need to do something bigger and better than this. So I called Alan, and I said, Alan, I thought about what you said to me about if I want to do something in Houston. Well, I knew Alan had told me that he met with other promoters, major promoters that were in the area at the time, and really no one gave him the time of the day. And so he had this brand new building that he had a contract with, and no one was interested in doing business with them. So I called them up. I said, if you really want to make a go of this, why don't I just pack up, move to Houston, and we'll make a go of it, and give me a couple of years. And so I said, and I did warn him. I said, I got to pre-warn you. The first year we're going to lose some money. We may lose some money. So he said, fine, deal. So just a handshake, no contracts, no nothing. Packed up. I think he gave me $1,200 a month just to pay my bills. It's all I needed at the time. And about 5 months later, he calls me into his office. He goes, Louie, I forgot to ask you one question. And I go, what is that, Alan? And he goes, you said to me that we may lose money the first year. I said, yeah, I did say that. And he goes, I forgot to ask you one more question. I go, what's that? He goes, how much? So anyway, Alan and I, it was the first time I met him when we became best friends. I moved to Houston to start Pace concerts with him. We're still best friends, and he taught me a lot about life. And we built, just as I'm trying to do here, I'm almost trying to model what I'm trying to do at the Messina Group, and how we started with Pace. There were a lot of other promoters in town, like 5 other major promoters in town. and we just chipped away. We didn't worry about what they were doing. We just set a path, a goal, and we went about our business. And one day, we were the last man standing, or last concert company standing.
Okay, some quick questions here then. How important is personal relationships in the job you do?
It's all about personal. Well, it's two-part. It's about doing a good job. People that they can depend on you and knowing that you can do what you say you can do. But it's all about personal relationships. You're dealing with artists. You're dealing with artists. People, they're communicators to the mass public. And so artists, communicators want to be communicated to, and they want to feel that artists are like me. We're like little babies. We want to be loved, and the same thing as their managers. Because when an artist comes to this town or any town, their managers want to feel secure that their artists are in good hands and they're not being stolen from, they're not being, manipulated, that people aren't talking stuff to them. And so it's all about trust and personal relationships. And that's what I'm trying to bring back to the business that I'm in.
Right. When we talk about that, and we talk about the big companies that are out there doing what you do, what happens to personal relationships in that? When someone like a huge Clear Channel is dealing with that, is there still that connection? Can there be?
Oh, there is and there isn't. There is personal relationships. So the problem is a company that big, they paid a dear amount of money, a lot of money for the company they bought. So it's about, and it's a publicly traded company. So it's about margins. It's not about, what is the right, it's about how you can make the most money and do the most shows and period.
Right.
That's what it's about. It's not about, growth. It's not, it's about growth, but it's about financial growth, about increasing my business by 15, 20, 25% every year. I just entered into a new relationship with Anschutz Entertainment Group, and they're different. We're partners. I didn't go to work for them. We entered into a joint venture. But they're about people. It's like, what is the right thing to do in your markets? Half the reason why I went there is because it reminded me so much of the Alan Becker way of doing business. But, it's almost like build and they will come. I always feel like if you do your job properly, the money will be there. Not, this is the money we have to make. Right. And it's unfortunate, but when you have stockholders that you have to answer to and income that you have to make, it's all about the price of stock. It's not about, what's good for the artist. It's all about how do you raise your stock from $39 to get it back up to $88 where it was, 3 years ago. Period, the end.
When you say what you just said, is there any fear when you started this new venture and then teaming up with someone else that you're going to start down the path you were on before?
Is there a fear? There's a fear, but it's different now. I'd just walk away. I won't tolerate it. That's why I wouldn't go to work for somebody. That's why we're partners. And that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
Can you keep the quality no matter how large the company becomes? There?
It's a mandate. I will. And once again, I'm not a believer in that I have to do every show in town. I have a couple of friends of mine who were in here before. They're part of AEG in Dallas. And I just said, I don't want to do everything. I looked at the number of shows. I said, you guys are booking way too many shows. This is a hands-on business. I really, I've always believed less is more. We do less shows, we sell more tickets, and because we're able to concentrate on those shows. For me to chase and to do everything in town, that means I can't do it all. You just cannot. You cannot service. You're doing the acts an injustice because you can't promote 50 shows a month in one town. You just can't do it. Mm-hmm. You're doing, your staff an injustice because they can't do it. There's no reward because you're always beaten down. Because, how can you? You're almost cannibalizing yourself. You're competing with yourself all the time.
You keep saying in town. Do you want to stay just in Houston?
Oh, no. I love Houston. Houston has been a great town. We promote all over the country. We do national tours, George Strait, Kenny Chesney, Tim McGraw, Dixie Chicks, and, in country, that's what I've been doing for the last few years is national tours. But I promote all over the country.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about concerts themselves. And the first thing that I think comes to everybody's mind when they think about going to a big concert show, the ridiculous price of tickets.
Right.
Where is that money going? Who gets what out of it? And who's really in control of setting those prices?
It's sort of like, that's a great question, because it's really, everybody's at fault. This is where greed comes in. And everyone, and from the artist on down to the promoter, okay? The artist, because they want to make as much money as possible.
Right.
But it kind of started years ago, doing the whole consolidation thing, when the Paces of the world were bought up. So you needed to have product. You needed to have product to sell sponsors, to sell season ticket holders, to make volume deals with food and beverage companies and ticketing companies and all that stuff. So now all of a sudden concerts became people, numbers. We're not going to do 20 shows a year. We're going to do 500,000 people in this venue. It's people. And so all of a sudden you had to lure artists. So you chased them with the pocketbook. An artist that was worth $200,000, they go, no, we don't want to, we want to play indoors. But we'll pay you $300,000 to play outdoors, because the reason why, Pace was one of the leaders as far as going out and build amphitheaters. The reason why we built amphitheaters, because we couldn't really make it just off of the sales of tickets. So we kind of like dug ourselves in a hole, because we built these $15, $20 million venues. And we had to make money off the popcorn and peanuts and ticketing and all that stuff. So what happened, though, and eventually when someone came along and bought us at 11 times what we were worth, so we had to make more money. So how do you make more money? You got to book more shows, because you got to sell more popcorn and more peanuts. So we had to lure artists either A, to get them on the road, B, not to play the arenas, to play the amphitheaters. So the antes went up. So managers, I remember one manager saying to me, Louis, this is when I was still at Pace, goes, the bigger you get, the happier I'm as a manager. Because we thought that the bigger we got, we will be able to control the business a little more. It was just the opposite, because we got bigger, but the artists controlled our destiny, because we were now more dependent on the artist.
Right.
Because it was like if an act says, well, no, we're not going to play. Well, it's times, I think we had 11 amphitheaters. It's times 11. Profit times 11 is a lot of money. So then you say, okay, we'll pay you an extra $50,000. Pay you extra $100,000, And so you start chasing it. So, okay, so the guarantees go up. So what happens when the guarantees go up? You're going to say, well, that artist is only good for 9,000 tickets. So if I'm paying the artist this, so I got to, raise the ticket prices to justify what I'm paying the artist. And then you got to go, well, okay, wait, I can't make enough money of being just the promoter, so how can I get into the ticketing money? I know what I'll do. I'll put an extra $1 on the service charge. So I'll get that rebate, so the artist doesn't share with that. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll put a facility fee on the ticket, and so the artist doesn't share on that. So it's almost like, it's like robbing Peter to pay Paul theory, but at the same time, the artist realizes that they're getting basically stolen from, because we added the service charges and we added, all this other, facility fees. So the artist goes, well, okay, I'm not sharing that, so I want more money. So the guarantees go up. It's kind of like the stupid game. So what we have done has turned off our audience. It's turned away our audience, because we took advantage of the patrons, the people that support our business, because we've made it almost unaffordable to go to a show. Oh, no, to go to many shows. We have taken the concert business. It's no longer part of a lifestyle. Going to concerts at one time was a part of a lifestyle. It was affordable. I've been producing Kenny Chesney's tour for the last few years, and we've sold the most. I bet you in the top 3. And last year we did 1,200,000 or 300,000 people. But our top ticket across the country was around $49 to $50. And we kept our tickets low. And you could go to a Kenny Chesney show for $20 or $22.50. So people came.
Yeah.
You know, they can afford it. You know, and he brought them a quality show. And indirectly, that's what I'm trying to sell that send that message back. I mean, is it too late to turn around? I mean, Paul McCartney can get $150, but you know what? Because Paul McCartney's going to come every 5 years or so, you know, or the Rolling Stones will come every 10 years. I mean, theatrical is that much, but you cannot do it for, you know, if it's a once in a lifetime of Barbra Streisand, okay, but not just for the regular Joe Blow, not Joe, excuse me, for an act. Price it where it's affordable.
Right.
Sell more tickets and you'll make the money.
But can you do that now that all of these artists have gotten so used to getting this big payday? Are they the ones who have to take the cut? Where does the cut happen?
No. Everybody needs to take the cut, but what people have to start realizing is, and the artists are tired of playing to empty seats. Okay? I mean, yeah, you know, you're in the amphitheater business, so what happens? Papering, the terminology of paper, you give away tickets. So what has happened now, you see the amphitheaters and all that, they're full because half the people are free. They've given away the tickets. So now we've even hurt ourselves even more because now people go, well, I'll just wait till they start giving away tickets. So now artists are saying, I'm tired of playing to empty seats. So I think artists are starting to roll back and saying, if I sold more tickets, I'm going to make just as much money. If I can start working with the promoters that are being honest with me, you know, maybe I can lower my guarantee, maybe the ticket prices can be lower, and maybe we'll sell more tickets because they'll start focusing on my show rather than the 150 other shows that are on. And that's
right.
Why I do believe there's a niche for someone like myself and companies like myself, because I don't need to chase. You know, I've got, you know, a small payroll, and I shouldn't say that because everybody goes, I want a raise, but everyone gets rewarded here as we get rewarded. You know, as
right.
the company grows, everybody grows around here. But the thing about it is that if you sell more tickets, everybody makes as much money. Right. You know, and you have a career, because people are going to say, I went to see Kenny Chesney, and you know what? It was affordable, and I had a great time, and I'm going back. It's like Jimmy Buffett. Jimmy Buffett's highest ticket price is maybe $65. He hasn't had a hit record. Well, he's got one now with Alan Jackson. You know, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, you know. But Jimmy hasn't had a hit record in 25 years. But guess what? He's a quality act. He's a lifestyle event. And it's affordable for people to go to his shows. And guess what? They go.
Yeah. What about the ticket masters and the ticketing organizations and stuff like that? How does all of that play into it?
Well, I mean, I don't understand the question, but Ticketmaster, it's a good company. They have a great service. It's easy to buy tickets. As far as the economics of it, everybody, like I'm saying, everybody's got their hand in the cookie jar. So, I mean, in a positive way. I mean, it costs money. I mean, Ticketmaster, you know, it has hundreds of millions of dollars in their system, and it's a good system, and they do a great job. So, I mean, it comes into play because it is convenient. It's easy for you just to go online now and buy a ticket. Right. You know, it's like you don't have to go and stand in line. Like, you know, when I was a younger promoter and we'd have midnight on sales, you know, where people would be stand in line for 2 days for, you know, the opportunity to buy front row tickets. Just now you sit at home and, you know, drink a cup of coffee and watch, The Simpsons or something, you know, and buy a good concert ticket. Tricks
to buying the best seats in the house. Where do those seats go? So often it seems as though when you go to buy your tickets, even when it first starts going on sale, a huge chunk of seats are already gone. Is there a way that the common man can get the best seats in the house?
Honestly, no.
No?
I mean, we always hold the first 10 rows. We never touch the first 10 rows on the floor. But you got to realize, must probably, like Ticketmaster, I think must probably have 50 or 70 or 80 outlets, and then there's the phone rooms, and then now there's internet. So if you just do the multiples, let's just say there's an 8-ticket limit, and let's just say there's 50. Let's just use 50 locations, and there's an 8-ticket limit. So 8 times 50 is what, 400. So every person in line, you know, if you're first in line, if you're second in line, 400 tickets have gone off the system. So if you're third in line, I mean, so the multiples are quick. I mean, so it's like, it's unlike that there's allocations. It's first come, first serve. And then, you know, the band has holes, sponsors has holes, the buildings have holes, the promoter has holes, you know, so it's tough. And then, of course, the scalpers have it wired. They have it wired better than anybody. They have better seats than me. I mean, honestly, if I want a good seat to one of my shows, I got to go to a ticket scalper. Because, I mean, you go down the street, Super Bowl tickets aren't even on sale yet. And they're selling Super Bowl tickets, you know, and guess what? They've got them. I mean, they've got access. They know what locations they have. They know, I don't know how they do it. I tried. I finally just said, I quit. You know, when I was at Pace, we tried a concert club. We said, oh, well, no, you know, we'll charge $100, you know, to join a concert club. This is a way to beat the scalpers. Well, it was so successful. Then we figured half the people were scalpers that bought it, that bought memberships. And so we had a disclaimer that you couldn't there was no resale. I got sued by the scalpers, and thank God we won. And so we were able to kick all the scalpers out. But it's a huge, huge business.
Yeah. And
now with internet, they don't have to go to the day, whatever they call the day help people. I mean, we used to go see, and there used to be buses and buses of, street people, winos, drunks, and all this stuff. They used to unload these buses of people, and they'd be standing like, yeah, I'm going to see the Rolling Stones, right? Yeah. They would give them exact amount of money, and they would stand in line, right? And then they would just go at the window, and as soon as they buy the ticket, I want 10 tickets, they have the exact amount of money, and they would just take the tickets right there from the guys, and it's a business, huge business.
But there's no other form of entertainment like it.
There isn't. No, there's nothing like live entertainment. There isn't. Just isn't. It's something going to a football game, going to a baseball game, basketball game. You can watch it, you can get a better seat on TV. I mean, you can watch it. I mean, you can replays and all this. But there's nothing like the experience of the live event. Nothing is ever going to replace that. No DVD, no holograms, no anything. I mean, the live event, it's an experience. That's what I do. You asked your first question, what do you do? I sell experiences. That's what I do. I bring experiences, and the artists. I'm just fortunate enough that the artists have that power to take people out of everyday life and the reality of what they go every day and let them have 3 hours of an experience. And that's why it's sad for me to see chaos at a concert or, when it's just untogether and, a drunk is acting goofy and disrupts everybody else around them. But going to a live event is an experience, and that's what I do.
And sitting here and chatting with you is an experience. Thank you for this 30 minutes.
Oh, thank you. It was fun.
Thank you. Louis Messina.